Thank you for joining me today. In today's video, I am sharing with you how I am planning to put together my dining room table. The holidays are the time of year where I feel you can be a little bit extra. You can do a little bit more than what you normally do. I know some of you may be thinking, I still have so much to do. You may still have lists to make, groceries to buy, phone calls to return, and so many questions to answer. So do you really want to think about your table? Yes, you absolutely do. Think lots of evergreen, pine cones, cinnamon, rosemary, and all things winter. When it comes to decorating, I put all my energy into the dinner table. When guests walk into your home and see a table arranged with care, it sets a very welcoming tone. So let me just give you the breakdown here. First, I'll start by telling you where I shopped. Then we'll move on to discuss possible table decor ideas. And lastly, I will show you how to set a formal table and an informal table. I hope you will find these tips and tricks useful while keeping your budget low and taking your holiday table to new levels of design sophistication. Before we get started, I want you to briefly pause. Take a moment and pause and embrace this calm. You came here today, you're putting in the effort, and lastly, I want you to enjoy the show. I have some good stuff coming down the line. Stay tuned. A lot of what I will be using today came from Home Goods, Dollar Tree, and Joann Fabrics. I always start off going to Home Goods, and this is, sometimes even before I've thought of a theme, because Home Goods is going to have some of the most random and elaborate items. You'll see on the table, I have a reindeer. The reindeer came from Home Goods. Some of my greenery items came from Home Goods, and some of my ornaments and lighting came from Home Goods. So you always want to start with Home Goods because that's probably where you're going to spend the bulk of your budget. Next, I go to Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree is going to have things you can find anywhere, but they're only going to cost you $1. So my garland definitely came from Dollar Tree. I found some really good floral picks this year from Dollar Tree. I don't know, but I feel like every year Dollar Tree is getting better and better and better, and it's great. Lastly, I go to Joann Fabrics. Joann Fabrics is going to have hard to find items, things that you may not find anywhere. So they're going to have what I got this year from Joann's. I got some twine and I got the ribbon that actually matches my theme. And you'll see me tie that around my napkins today. And, just other random things that you may use. They also have fillers and floral picks. I usually use fillers to kind of fill in empty spaces on my table. So that's where I shopped. My theme this year is going to be buffalo plaid. So the way that you'll see me decorate today is all going to go with that buffalo theme. So the colors I'm going to be incorporating are black, white, and some shiny sparkly silvers. So that's what you'll be seeing me use today. So you always want to start with the basics and you use something exciting, something that's going to resonate with your guests. And then you want to incorporate things at your home, make it personable. What I have here now is things that I had some vases at home, and I'm going to talk about vases and how you can incorporate them in your holiday table. We all have vases around the house, so this is something that is going to always be useful. You can bring in different shapes and sizes, taller, more slim vases as well. And then fall, like I said, fall. So I do have a white pumpkin in here that I may throw in here. We'll see how it goes, but this was already something I had at home. And I have an LED light, so this was something I had. And of course, we should all have ornaments. So last year, Christmas was red and gold on my Christmas tree. And so I'll show you how to incorporate the ornaments in there. These I actually got from the Dollar Tree. These are small little gift boxes. And these come in handy. The next segment, but these are what you would call fillers. So once you put your table together, you may find that there may be some empty spaces, or something isn't quite right, so you can add these fillers in. These are picks, and I really love the picks because they come in different varieties, colors, shapes, different themes. These you can also find at the Dollar Tree, and you can also find at Joann Fabric. Usually go between 60 to 70%, and like the end of November. This again I bought last year on clearance. There's my red Home Goods sticker, and I saw these and I thought this is a perfect match. This will be useful for your centerpiece. Just the black horse. Again, my colors are black. I actually choose to save the paper towel rolls. One, because they're bigger, so you can split these into 2 or 3, so you don't want to use your toilet roll paper. So you always want to keep these handy. These will always be useful. And now we are going to move on to putting our table decor together. So we're gonna start with garland. So I picked up this garland from the Dollar Tree. You just want to unwind it a little bit. So I got 2 packages from the Dollar Tree. Depending on how much greenery you want on your table, I think the 2 packages may be enough. And again, you're just going to put it together and kind of lay it out on your. And I'm going to twist them together first. And then I'll kind of get them on the table. So I'm just going around and I'm just twisting the garland together. And I'll probably do this 2 or 3 times just to get the length that I want for my table. And then we're going to fold it in half again. Remember I started out with those 2 ropes, so again, the Dollar Tree from the Home Goods, and it'll already come together, but this is not so bad. We're really thick when we started, and I would almost, like I said, maybe do it 2 or 3 times, so I am going to do it a 3rd time, just so it's thicker and it's not as long. Okay, we're all done. Next, we are going to take the picks that I told you about. These really come in handy. Again, they're usually very cost effective. And you are just gonna kind of slide those in there, and you can do this any way that you want. And then I'll probably take a little silver in here as well. And you can organize these any way that you want to see them done. Just kind of keep going around here. Then we're going to add a little bit in here to kind of fill it in. That's why you want to make sure that you definitely have enough in here, that you've selected enough picks. Again, they're really cheap, especially around this time. I'm going to just fill it in a little over here. There you have it. There's your garland. So with bases. So like I mentioned before, I have the different shapes and sizes, because you always want a variety on the table. I have 3 different shapes up here that I'm going to show you how to make. And these 2 I got from the Dollar Tree. So I got different shapes and sizes. It's definitely okay to incorporate the different shapes and sizes.
but make sure you bring the glass to the table. This one I got a couple years ago. I just like how large it is, so you can fit a lot into it. Let's start with the large tall one. So again, we have that paper towel roll I told you would come in handy. So I cut it in half. I'm going to stick it in the glass, and then I'm going to take the snow. I'm going to take the snow and I'm going to fill it up to cover the paper towel roll. And you don't want, you kind of want to get the outside of it. So make sure you center it in there, and then just make sure that you are covering the sides of it. So you may want to just hold it in place a little bit. Try not to get the inside. It's okay. Some of it will go on the inside, and that's okay. So again, we're putting the snow in to cover the paper towel roll. And so once it's covered, I'm going to bring back those picks. I love picks. You'll hear me talk about the picks a lot. And you're just gonna arrange it. I could start with the green and kind of build from there. And then you got my shiny silver. I'm gonna kind of bring that to the forefront. And then I got little small ones in here that I can fill in here. Okay. How's it looking? Okay, you can always add more, you can always add less. I'm going to put this to the side because I will use this later for my table. I'm liking the way it's looking. Now I'm going to take the large glass vase. I'm going to add more snow to it. And I'm going to do it probably a little less than half. And then I'm just going to take those ornaments that I had laying around the house last year. So I got some red and golds, and I'm going to layer it. And I'm going to start with the bigger ones first, and you can arrange these any way you want. And then I'm going to bring in those small ones, and I'm just going to fill in the gaps here. Now this adds a pop of color. Love that. And then I'm going to bring in those items I had left over from home, layer in it again. And that, it's just like that. Simple.
Okay, so I like to bring a little light to the table. So you'll see me use flameless LED candles, but you can also use votives. You could throw in a candle holder and candlesticks. It's really what you want to do with it. But you always want to have lights on the table. It just makes it, again, more inviting, makes it more warm. You can take some string lights. You can also just snatch your Christmas tree lights and you can throw them on the table. Those do really well. And then your centerpiece, of course. So there's place cards, festive napkins, special dinnerware. All these things are going to help set the joyous scene for a holiday meal. But your centerpiece is the real showstopper of your table. You can use Christmas lights, string lights, floral arrangements, feathers, pumpkins, oranges. There's so much opportunity here. Be bold, add some red and gold. You can also add a nice white tray. Try to capture the beauty of the season. But I want you to remember, don't make your centerpiece too tall, or because you may block the person sitting across from you. And for the centerpiece, you can also add what I like to call fillers. These help with the empty spaces, and it also helps to balance color on the table. And lastly, napkins. I chose a very simple napkin folding trick this year. Because my table is going to be a little more elaborate, I'm going to keep my napkin simple. I'm just going to roll the napkin up, and then I'm going to take a piece of buffalo plaid ribbon that I got from Joann Fabrics. I'm going to tie the ribbon with the name tag and with a piece of rosemary to it. and that's it. It's gonna look really, really good. As you can see in the picture, it's very simple, but it just adds a nice touch to the table. And then we have place cards. So I'm gonna throw in some place cards this year. Well, I'm going to have place cards at the table, and I'm also going to add in conversation cards. I don't know about you, but so much has gone on this year, and I want to make sure that this holiday meal, we kind of focus on the positive and we try to stay upbeat. So the conversation cards that I made up, and as you can see some of the examples in the slide, they are very light. You can really choose anything. I would kind of stay away maybe from politics and any topics that are going to cause you to go too deep in conversation. So I would just keep it light and fun. Doing the place cards are optional and doing the conversation cards are optional. You don't have to add those in. I just thought that was a good addition to the table this year.
Going to start with our table runner. Now, I have in the last few years preferred to use a table runner, and the table runner that I got today, it came from Joann Fabrics. So instead of buying a table runner, I actually just had them cut the fabric the way I wanted it. So the buffalo plaid, this is, and I'm going to start by laying it out on the table. So you can't see that fabric. Now we're going to be adding some excitement to our day. We're going to finally see this table I've been talking about come together here. So I'm going to just take my Christmas tree lights and I'm going to wrap them around the garland that you saw me put together earlier. This is just to add some lights. You can always add candles and add some LED lights to the table. I just like this Christmas light. To me, it's just, just a sign of the holidays, and they just look really, really nice. You're probably going to need an extension cord though, for your table, just so it kind of falls nice. And then remember those glass vases, the glass jars I put together earlier with the paper towel. I showed you how to make those. We're going to bring those to the table, and we're just going to put one at each end. Then I think my focal point here is going to be the horse. So we'll put the horse right there in the middle. And then I also have these to go with my table. We'll put those right next to the horse. And then earlier, I had also talked about adding, once you kind of see how far you get, you're going to then go ahead and you're going to add your feelers to the table. So those can go there.
Okay, now that we're about to put this table together, I'm so excited, are you? I want you to understand that setting a dinner table is very essential, especially during the holidays. It's also important for hosting any formal dinners. Now, here's our history check-in. Dating back to ancient Greeks, table setting scenes are found in the Old Testament and in the writings of Homer. European table manners and other examples of chivalry date back as far as the 11th century. Catherine de' Medici is credited with introducing many food innovations to France. She's said to have taught the French how to eat with a fork. Charger plates or service plates are large plates used at full course dinners or to dress up special events like parties and weddings. Charger plates have been in use since the 19th century. Plate chargers are larger than your plates, so they frame your dish nicely, adding some color or some interesting design to the edge of your plate. I have inserted this diagram into the video so you can see exactly what I'm doing here. And it's just a good cheat sheet for you if you want to use this as well. But these are all of the components and the utensils that actually go into setting a formal table. So here we start with the charger plate. If you don't have a charger plate or you don't want to use the charger plate, you can layer your plates. So you could bring in your dinner plate, and then on top of your dinner plate, you can place your bread or salad plate. Next, you would lay down your dinner plate and your bread plate. I'm going to put my napkins at the end because I'm layering my plates. And then you would bring in your forks. So on the formal table setting, you're going to set down 4 forks. Now, if you don't have all of these utensils, or if you don't even have matching utensils, that's okay. Everything does not have to match. So you're going to have your salad fork and dinner fork. That's going to be to the left. And then you're going to have your seafood fork to the right. And you're going to have the dessert fork in front of you. Now, since my family sets up an actual dessert table, I didn't set down the dessert spoon and fork. Next, you would bring in your spoons. So, again, you would have a dessert spoon and you would have a dinner spoon. And then you're going to bring in your knives. You're going to have 2 knives. You're going to have a bread knife, which goes on top of the bread plate, and you're going to have a dinner knife. So the dinner knife, the blade faces the plate. And then we're going to go to the glasses. So I'm doing a water glass and a wine glass. So on the table, I'm going to put 2 glasses. Now, you could do the 4 glasses, but remember that's going to take up a lot of space. Totally up to you.
Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to set our place settings out. I'm going to wait till we get to the end to show you what it looks like with all of the glasses and cups, because the most important thing when you're doing the place setting is to make sure that you are placing your utensils in the correct spot. So let's go ahead and start adding. So I'm going to start with the chargers. So these definitely dress up the table. Just layering your plates are going to dress up your table. So I'm going to start here with the chargers. Now, the other thing that is included, and you will see on the screen, is a dessert spoon and a dessert fork. The way my family does it, We usually sit down, eat, we chit chat, we eat dinner, and then we kind of remove everything from the table. And dessert is kind of served buffet style.
And here we have an informal table setting. So the informal table setting is going to call for much less. It is pretty simple. You're going to have your napkins. You're going to have 2 plates. You're going to have a salad and dinner plate, and they're going to be layered together. You're going to have your flatware. You are going to have 2 forks on this one. You would have a salad fork and a dinner fork. And then you would have 2 spoons. So this is going to be a little different. You would have a teaspoon and you would have a soup spoon on this one. And you would have 1 knife, and that would be your dinner knife. And 2 glasses. You would set a water glass and you would set a wine glass. And that's pretty much it. So again, I think you have to decide which table setting is going to be best suited for your guest. And are you setting a formal dinner? This is going to be a formal dinner with several courses. So I think it really depends on how you want to set your table.
All right, and there you have it. You have a perfectly set holiday table. As you can see, I did come back and I added the glasses. Target has a similar version of the glasses that Olivia Pope used in Scandal with the long stems. So as I was waiting for these to come in, I just took some drinking glasses. So I added the glasses in, and so again in that picture, it's going to tell you where to place the glasses and how many glasses you should have on the table. For the formal table, you would have a red wine glass, a white wine glass, a champagne glass, and a drinking glass. You don't have to use all 4. So I put 2 glasses in place because on my table, when I set it, I'll set a drinking glass and I will set a wine glass. So I would only have 2 glasses on the table anyway, so that's what I placed on the table. So this is a perfectly set formal table, and I'm going to dim the light so you can get the full effect.
I want to thank you. If you've made it this far, kudos to you. Thank you for sticking it in. I really hope you enjoyed what I put here together. As you can see, a lot of thought and effort went into this, just so I could pull the ideas so you have something to choose from. So, again, you don't have to set it out like I did, but just do your best. And I know things are a lot different this year. There's a lot of things going on in the world and maybe just in your life. But for me, when I started to put all this together and I set the table and I turned the lights and candles on, it truly lifted my spirits, put me in just a really better mood. And I don't know about you, but I'm not planning on having many people at my home this year. It's going to be a very, very quiet dinner. But whether or not I have 1 or 2 guests or I have no one, I'm going to do it for myself because I like the way it looks and I like to really get in that holiday spirit. I like to turn on Hallmark. I like to play Christmas music in the background while I'm cooking. And I love the tree. I even keep my tree up probably until at least February. So it just really lifts your spirit. So don't be overwhelmed by the process. Think about the outcome and how and how the table is going to be a very welcome environment, whether you're just setting it for yourself or you're setting it for guests, or you're, you know, like me, and you're setting it to take pictures. I mean, think of it that way. You are setting a background for your family and your friends to take pictures at the table. It could be a backdrop for you, and they could post to their Snapchats, their Instagrams, and their Facebook. So I want you to think of this as creating memories. That's what we're doing. We're creating memories. So my final message to you is to make sure that you enjoy this time with your family. I think it's now more important than ever. So I'm wishing you and your family a happy, happy holiday. And thank you for joining me today.